sacrifices, play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same. I done prayed that I will make it bring glory to my name. To the Americas, there were people already here. But because 10,000 years is enough time for a small evolution in humans, that's where you get different skin tones. So people that migrated south towards South Africa, they're close to equator hot environments. So over 10,000 years, their skins adapted to those harsh environments and had darker skin tones because they needed more melatonin to survive those harsh conditions. People that moved up north or migrated to like the Europe areas, they didn't have that. So those people's skin tones got, those people's skin tones got lighter. So that's how you have the different ethnic groups on skin tones and stuff from those migration of people and people being stranded. So that's why the Native Americans were here, just because those people were cut off from society or cut off from the Europe continents for those countries for 10,000 years.
So this is like talking about like the origin of like all of mankind was specifically in one area first, and due to the Ice Age.
Yeah.
That is what separated everybody.
Yeah.
Started the separation.
Right, because this is before like traveling through boats and stuff like that was a thing, because this is way back then. And that's why those people they also didn't advance as much because of them being isolated. The majority of the brain power that produced boats and navigations and using the stars to navigate, that was all within the Europe countries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they didn't advance as far, because it was just them living off the land.
Yeah, because there wasn't. So that's actually kind of a side note, but it's actually funny that you bring that up about their advancement like slowed or reversed for a little bit. I rewatched Infinity War recently, and was just thinking about like, what if in our world we actually lost half of our population, or even wiped out the majority of it, and it was at the point where obviously businesses aren't working anymore, right? The production isn't the same,
right? And
so when it comes to, you see like different ages of humans where like if they get wiped out, you have to start back over and blah blah blah, so to speak. So that's like, even if we still have a good amount of people that still remember and still know how to use some of the advanced technologies that we have now, if we don't have the operation system to like get everything going, still people are still gonna have to go back to living on their own and living off land, and that's how things get started over. And I was like, I wonder if that shit actually panned out, like if there was a way to avoid that restart. And
I think it would come down to, since let's say it's random, then that you could assume it'd be tough on who got hit with the snap.
Yeah.
And I would assume, if you assume 50, well, actually, statistically speaking, if let's say you assume half of America just got wiped out tomorrow, well, the fact that only, I don't know, a very small percent are scientists to begin with, I don't know how that would work logistically, because you would imagine that only a small portion of the scientific community would be wiped out because it only represents such a small percentage. But then again, if it's random, that could also mean that it could potentially be a good amount of them wiped out. The infrastructure would still be there though. It's just learning how to use it.
Honestly, at that point, it would basically people would have to come together within a certain area and do what they can with the information that they already have and try to build off of it as much as they could.
Now, resources is another. That's the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because then there's no, the so-called people will tell you that if we keep repopulating the way we're populating, we're going to run out of space eventually. Which theoretically, yes, but there's so much of this planet that hasn't been fully inhabited yet.
Like I wouldn't even say just like the inhabited part of it, just like the amount of resources and
just
that, like
in general.
Yeah, we're already getting to the point where we're kind of exhausting, or not exhausting. We're abusing some of the resources, and we're trying to manipulate as much as we can to make money, to make people happy, to get the quickest, easiest, fastest way to get these resources. And obviously, if we have too many people, then they'll have to increase that exponentially to want to make more money and also keep up with the demand.
Yeah, so in the scientific community, a big problem solver to our energy crisis, people don't want to hear this, nuclear energy. Now, I get nuclear energy with the whole media stigma, it seems it's very, very bad. But I'm telling you, plutonium the size of a paperclip could power a city.
No, yeah, definitely.
This big could power a city. Now, yes, you got the toxic waste and half-life. It takes forever to decay. It's super radioactive. You got to find somewhere to put it. I get that. But if we could find a way to, I always thought there's a way to reuse that wasted, when you get done with plutonium, the waste is not usable and it's still very highly radioactive. And I always thought if there was a way we could find a way to somehow recycle that wasted radioactive material, that could be a possibility, but I'm not a radioactive scientist, so I don't know how feasible that is. But I mean, you talk about a phone-sized piece of plutonium could power a city for years, which is ridiculous.
So we're at the point now where like we definitely should not still be running off gas. And the interesting video that I saw, which it was not a credited video, but it was just a guy talking about a different perspective of kind of the energy crisis or whatever, around hydrogen engines. And how with people are trying to like, so with the guy that made the first hydrogen engine back in like 2000 something, he ended up dead.
Yeah.
Whatever. Ended up screaming. He died because of a heart attack. Last words was, "They poisoned me," blah, 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 whatever. But even before that, we had steam engines. That was what started the whole industrial revolution and whatnot. And so he talked about these hydrogen engines as not the service level. They don't want to stop. They're not wanting to stop the actual physical engine that is running off of water. They're wanting to stop the fact that these people are being able to take the hydrogen out of the atmosphere as a result. So basically how these hydrogen engines are working, the end creation is hydrogen.
Instead of basically carbon monoxide?
Yeah, so they're basically making water. It's like the most pure form of water is what he was saying. Obviously, I don't know how credible it is by any means, but basically he was talking about that aspect of what they were doing was creating water. And it gets to the point where if humans are able to create their own water and energy out of the atmosphere, it's going to take or make big name companies obsolete to certain.
Yeah, and that's why he probably ended up.
Obviously, I probably dead. Shafted that, but yeah, it was a really good aspect of how to look at it, kind of like deeper than just the surface level, just engines running on water to certain.
Even I feel like we're on point with. Well, I was watching. I believe it was Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about. He was talking about something about energy, how people don't really care where they get their energy from, because they were talking about how, if you use a gasoline car, people are against it because it's creating this emission, yada, yada. So you go to electric. But do you know where your electric energy is coming from? When you plug into a wall, might be coming from gasoline somewhere.
That is, yeah.
So it was interesting because I always thought, if you're an electric car, you're running out, you're obviously trying to, whether you're trying to or not, but it's helping the whole carbon monoxide emissions, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But are you really not involved with it if you don't know where your electricity is actually coming from?
I actually saw something on that. I don't think it was Tesla, but it was some other big company who was saying that like something with like their electrical generators that were powering these electric cars or whatever, like something went wrong with it or something happened where they weren't actually able to use that anymore. They had to go back to gas generators
Really?
to power that. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name or whatever, but it was just interesting like that. It's completely right. People don't care where the energy's coming from. It is good that they're trying to be better about it, but it will come down to these bigger companies and scientists figuring out the best way to create this clean energy.
I saw
that it's not runoff.
I saw somewhere the biggest problem with carbon monoxide emissions is not actually from cars. The biggest problem is, so I believe, this could be completely wrong, but I believe that algae in the ocean and waters, algae actually absorbs a lot of that carbon monoxide out the atmosphere. And it's the destruction of algae ecosystems with the extra production of the cars that's the problem.
Gotcha.
Because if we had the algae ecosystems, whether that stuff gets into the atmosphere, the algae is able to absorb that and take it out. But because we're losing these algae ecosystems, that's what's not. There's nothing to counteract that monoxide emissions.
Yeah.
But it's all interesting.
It's so interesting. And like this, I feel like it's the most obvious way of getting clean energy, but like magnets. This is a rock that has its own energy field, and we use it to stick stuff on refrigerators.
Well, you're talking about one of the hardest things
but what I'm saying is like, even so, what you're able to do is get put magnets around say like a fan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You put copper coils around it
right.
to like make it move.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put that to a generator and it's moving on its own. Obviously, it's a very small, compact version of that. But like if you scale that to a version where it's super powerful, it's still running by itself, it's creating energy, and you're not.
Yeah, magnetic trains.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. Magnetic. Is that how they function? I knew that.
Yeah.
That okay. Yeah. So that's exactly.
Yeah, magnetic trains.
But then so then why is that not utilized? Like that's a huge. Like we don't have, at least to my knowledge, we don't have any other like physical substance that is obviously creating a reaction in and of itself.
The problem might be just funding. So I don't know who would fund that. They probably can't get funding for it because you're talking about.
But see, like we are in so much debt right now. Like I feel like funding for switching over.
Well, I'm saying, who are they going to get the funding from?
I mean, if the government has priorities, right, from the government.
But the government's not going to fund it because the oil industry, the gasoline industry, and car industry, they're a giant chunk of our GDP.
Oh yeah.
So if you put funding towards something that's going to make that obsolete, stock market crashes.
Oh, definitely.
Or
that's
it goes
what I'm
down.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like right now, our priorities is towards
not
our the government's priority is towards making money, and it's not towards. Which obviously this is very generally speak. There's definitely plenty of people in the government that want the best for our human race, but at a government as a whole, I would say that they have their priorities towards money instead of.
That's a good point. That magnetic engine,
because like that's like the most like it's obviously I'm not a scientist, but then I was able to figure out a way to just do that by myself, and then like. With cars, they have grills right now to cool off the coolant, whatever I'm saying it wrong, I'm gonna piss off the car community. But if you put fans in there, when you're driving, it's gonna turn the fans and more again, that's another battery to charge right there.
Oh, you know what the problem is? It wouldn't produce enough energy to move a car.
But there's gotta be a way to there's just got to be a way to just increase that.
There probably is, but you probably couldn't make it on a small enough scale. Because you're talking about moving 3,000 something, anywhere from 3,000, 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. Not only that, but you need to be able to stop it when you need to. You need to be able to move when you need it to move.
No, so I'm saying not specifically like having the magnet like physically moving the car, but more so the magnet.
I'm talking about the engine. Oh, you're talking about charging. You're talking about for an electric car.
Yeah. So like having it there as like the energy source.
Oh well, The problem with that is you still got to charge it.
No, so it's the magnet is what I'm saying. So a magnet, that spinning motion is what's creating that electrical energy, and which is getting the energy to the battery, so to speak. Obviously, this is a non-scientist speaking.
I think the magnet would have to be huge, probably.
Would it have to be huge, or be able to make it a version of it where it's compact enough that's able to make the thing spin fast enough to create enough energy?
I think it probably have with current technology, it'd probably be the thing would have to be like huge, because if you ever seen an electromagnet that's powering something that has high altitude, they're giants. Because you can't, I don't think, well, they have super magnets. That's a good point. I don't think you can, the strength of a magnet is not necessarily, is it? That's a good point.
Because like obviously you might know better than me, but I would assume it comes down to the speed and the torque of the spin to create the energy. And so it'll come down to where you put certain magnets, where you put certain copper coils, whatnot, to create that natural spin.
So you'll get a natural spin, right? Now, that natural spin, let's just say for argument's sake, you put magnets. Let's say you got the coils, it's electromagnet magnet. You got the magnet set up to where they're repelling each other. That's what's creating perpetual motion. Once you have a spin, those magnets are going to spin at that rate. So if you need to speed up the spin, how do you speed it up? You have to have some type of external energy coming in to speed up that thing to charge, unless you're talking about just having a steady flow of charge. But if you're outputting, the output can't go over the input, and if it did, and then also the other problem is, I believe with electromagnetic, I don't think they're very strong in terms of charging. I think it could work, but practically it wouldn't be as efficient as just an electric car the way it is today.
But when it comes to like efficiency, kind of what we're talking about with avoiding getting your electric energy from a gas generator, like so say we added that magnetic energy source to charge a battery for a car, and then added wind turbines, if that's the right terminology.
Well, I know Tesla's what they're doing, solar panels.
Yeah.
They're building like an SUV and they're just lining the top of it with panels. That's probably a better route.
Yeah, so say you do that, and you have, is it wind turbines?
The wind turbine, yeah.
Turbine, whatever. Yeah, that gets wind energy as the car is moving. So you have 3 separate sources of natural free energy that's there to charge the battery for the car. And one of them's constantly doing it, the other one's doing it when it's out in the sun, the other one's doing it when it's moving.
How practical is it?
Then again, that could make the car too bulky, because if you're having 3 different energy sources to like a single battery, or like 2 or 3 batteries, like the Mustang Mach-E
EV or whatever.
Yeah, the new electric one. Mm-hmm. I was looking into it, and I was assuming like it had the same height. It's an SUV.
Yeah.
But it has the same exact distance from the ground to the bottom of the car as a regular Mustang, because the battery is so thick on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And so that's already an issue with that. Then just figuring out a way to have to get that situated with those 3 different things. But yeah, that's just me thinking of different ways to.
The best route is a combination of, the best route to me is keeping the traditional. So you have like a hybrid. Yeah. It's using less gas. The gas there if you need it, right? and then you have the electric battery. So I think the best combination is probably solar with the battery and the gas, or you can just do battery solar. So like you said, instead of having the magnet, you just have the solar panels that's charging the battery. So as long as your car is out for the most part, depending on weather, then it's charging the battery. And then if you're not able to charge it, you can plug it in, or if it's a hybrid, you can put gas in it if you need it. That way, we still have gasoline, but we would be using it as a last resort in terms of, I don't know, if you're traveling and then, oh, the battery's low, hit the gas, because you know when your car's on the engine actually can charge the battery. So I don't know, but the electromagnetic charging thing is actually a very interesting idea. I just don't know. I'm not an electrodynamic guy at all, so I don't know. I just do know with the problem with the majority of things when it comes to electricity is having enough power to move a 3,000-pound car.
Yeah. So what if it's like a battery that we're already using right now with Tesla or whatever? It's already fully charged. And so the magnet's there to just replace the car's energy as it goes.
You'd probably increase the mileage, but it would come down to how efficient the charge is. Because it's like, if you ever had like a stupid slow charger, you're using your phone and it almost seems like it's not even, your battery's still going down even though it's plugged in. So it's going down slower because it's still getting a little bit of charge, but it still would go down at the end of the day.
I would say, like, as long as it is bringing enough energy, which honestly, if you combine that and solar panels, and like before they sell a car, they sit it out and turn the magnet on for the energy, like where so it's already fully charged whenever they sell the car. After that point, I would think the combination of solar panels and magnetic generator or whatever would it be enough to at least consistently bring enough energy to the battery without, which then again, the next issue would be the constant flow of energy. You'd have to figure out a way to stop it at a certain point, because if the car is already fully charged, you can't have more energy going to it, and you're just going to mess with the battery.
Yeah.
We know that with phone and others. So next thing would be a way to turn off the energy once you get to that 100% point automatically, so you're not frying your battery.
Let's see, electromagnetic motors. Because I do know, I remember looking into electric airplanes. Because I dove into that a little bit. And they were saying the problem is the amount of electrical power it would take to get a plane off the ground is so impractical. It's better to just keep using jet fuel. You're talking about thousands and thousands of pounds you get, because
you gotta get in the air and stay in the air.
Yeah, I mean Tesla, they also figured something out, but the biggest problem with electric anything is it's just not as high of an output as it is with your standard combustion engines. I wonder what level capacitors, but dude, can we turn that off? Because
I was about to say, like, I just turned it down. So.
I don't know if that noise is feeding into the technical into the iPad. So we here. This is my first time in Cali. I didn't know what to expect. I'm surprising. It is not nearly as hot here as it is in Texas.
No, it is. At least down in San Diego, it's sunny 75 the majority of the time.
But
it actually rains here a lot more than I expected.
Really?
Yeah, I thought when I came here, I was expecting to be like mostly, which is mostly like deserty kind of environment. But like in the wintertime, it rained a lot. Like the entire mountains behind us turned green this winter because it rained so much. Yeah, which I heard that this past winter it rained more than it normally does. But
for people listening, I was telling Grant in the car, at one point in time, this entire universe, you could have held it in your hands. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then it just expanded into the 13.7 billion light years big. Well, you could
Try
have
to
just
wrap your head around that.
could have just it's just crazy. It's like black holes, dude. I don't even know how to conceptually imagine our sun, which like
because black hole isn't even a mass; it's just
no,
an absence of space.
it's a mass. No, it's a
Oh,
mass.
it is mass.
It's a mass. It's the most massive thing in our universe. It's so massive that the gravity literally collapses in on itself, creates a singularity. So massive. So imagine.
Wait, so the black hole it's a really dense.
Oh yeah.
Smaller. That's what it is.
Oh,
it's not. Okay.
Yeah. So imagine this is your gravitational plane, right? And as you add weight, it like, bows in, right? Well, eventually, things get so massive that the waves holding it stretch like that because it's literally just it's like a trampoline.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a trampoline. If you get somebody super
like,
heavy and you put it in the middle of it, it just goes like that.
Was that like a balloon, like a water balloon, to the extent, but like the rubber itself, like when you fill up a water balloon and you hold it by the top, have the water just hanging there.
Yeah, it's like that. It just stretches all the way down, and then eventually it's so massive, everything just collapses in, and then like nothing can escape. So like
it's just so hard to like it's so heavy, and the gravity is so heavy that it pulls light in. Yeah,
light can't escape it. It's massive. It's huge. It's like, so if you get a super massive star, right? Let's say 8 times the size, let's say 10 times the size of our sun, right? Eventually it's so massive that it explodes, supernova, right? Well, when it explodes supernova, the core gets degenerate. That means the core comes in, it contracts to where there's literally not enough space in between atoms anymore, right? It becomes degenerate, close. So when you have a star that massive come down on itself, it falls into a singularity, and that's how you get black hole. And then it brings in all of the stuff in around it. Like they literally they'll eat stars.
So with light not being able to escape, is that because it's physically like pulling it down, or is it because now the singular plane of space and time has now been warped because of it, and so the light is just following the path of
both? It's basically the same thing.
Okay,
yeah. And so because I remember somebody asked, we got that picture of the black hole that's here in our galaxy. We're like, how are we able to see it if it brings in light? What we're seeing is the light that's bending around it, and it still makes it. The light doesn't cross the horizon, but the light that doesn't escape, but light that's coming in just enough to get bent around it and then comes out the other side. That's what we're seeing around it. But that's what I originally wanted to study, was black holes, because it's the most fascinating thing to me in the world.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah, imagine like I can't even conceptually try to explain.
Exactly.
But imagine our sun and all the planets. If you were to you literally were big enough to just smash them all together, into
like a little ping pong ball or something.
Oh, and that ping pong ball would literally, the gravitational plane would just sink in because it can't hold it up. It's too heavy.
I can think about all that stuff for just days.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness, my mind's in it.
It's wild.
Man,
a lot of sciencey stuff. I'm trying to think what else, because I've heard so many talks.
Quick note on back to the energy. You've heard of Nikola Tesla, right?
Yeah.
So for those who don't, he's definitely not in history as much as he should be, but he was a scientist, I don't know when, back in
forever,
40s, 50s, something like that, where he created a machine that was able to make free energy. And how they described it was like, think of Bluetooth, but for charging your phone. And so it was basically this device that was able to get the energy within the atmosphere, turn into whatever it was, and then send it back out to any other electrical devices that was near it. So if you were within a certain vicinity of this machine, it'll turn on your lights. It'll obviously they didn't have our kind of phones back then, but they had phones. But say we had our kind of phones at the point, it would automatically charge your phones, it would charge your car, it would do all of that stuff. And obviously he ended up dead, killed, or I don't know if they said he was killed or what. He died for some reason. All this stuff was cleaned up, destroyed, whatever. It was funny. I actually saw some videos on some people trying to remake it, and a couple people did, from what I saw. One guy made like a smaller version of it. It was like a little table side thing. He turned it on and got a light bulb, and I was out here and he brought it in close to it and just lit up on his own.
Yeah, it's you know those for people, you know those things that's got it's like it's that ball, it's got a thing in the middle, and if you put your hand into the glass, those like electric.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's like the same concept.
It's really,
yeah, sorta.
But like obviously a lot more complex.
Yeah, it's on a controlled thing. 'Cause I remember, the problem with that is commercializing it. Because if you have something that's high enough energy to start charging large appliances, you don't want to be near that thing. Because you yourself, you're charged.
Yeah.
So if you come in, they're thinking, start charging you up.
You wake up, you have superpowers.
Oh,
become the next Shockwave.
Dude,
What's his name? Shockwave?
Static Shock.
Static Shock, that's what it was.
Bro, I want superpowers so bad. Bro, as a kid,
have I been sending you those videos?
Which one?
So there's been videos I've been seeing. Obviously, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell if it's real or fake or whatever, but people have been doing the meditating, channeling the chakras, whatever, and being able to move objects.
No, dude. Stop.
You can say what you want. I don't know if I believe it or not, but
I don't.
It's very interesting because I know that there's so much more that our bodies can do that we haven't been able to figure out yet. And it's just interesting.
I don't think we can start levitating shit.
No, there's monks that have levitated. They have. But yeah.
Maybe with the help of science.
Let me figure out some videos.
Maybe with the help of science, guys. I don't want you out here trying to jump off of buildings.
No.
Because Grant's talking about how you can levitate. Okay? This isn't Chronicles. We're not going to touch a meteorite to hit the earth and all of a sudden be able to fly. So, disclaimer for any kids listening. Actually, you know what? I saw Chris Angel levitate in Las Vegas.
Chris Angel.
He's a magician.
Oh.
He levitated over the pyramid, but it's all illusions.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a monk.
Oh, so that means?
Yes.
What's it supposed to mean?
It means he knows how to control all that. It's actually, yeah. I'll show it to you later.
Just so if somebody's a doctor, they automatically know what they're talking about.
You said someone's what?
If someone's a doctor, they automatically know what they're talking about.
No, not at
Okay,
all.
so just because he's a monk.
No, I'm not. Okay, so I'm not saying I 100% believe this by any means. I'm just interested by the possibilities that there is potential out there. Because I want us to be able to get to that point. As you said, you want superpowers more than anything.
Well, I want superpowers. I don't want everybody to have superpowers.
Oh.
I'm trying to be special. If everybody has superpowers, then
no, yeah.
It's back to square. Then I don't want superpowers. I want to be different.
I don't know.
Or I want the OP superpowers. Give me one for all.
One for all.
The only potential there is potential energy, fam. And the higher your potential energy, the higher your kinetic energy will be. Let that sink in.
The higher the potential energy, the higher kinetic energy.
Yeah, dude. It's just mass times height. I think 1/2 mass times height. Your potential is just how far you are from the ground. That's all it is. So if you imagine, let's say you have a boulder. Let's say it weighs 20,000 kilograms. If it's only a foot off the ground, when you let it go, it's kinetic. It's going to change from potential to kinetic. But when it hits the ground, it's going to be some energy is going to be released, but it's it's a foot off the ground, not much. Now, if you drop it from a 10-story building, when it hits the ground, it's going to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
Just like when a meteorite's coming in at 30,000 miles an hour, it won't even make it to the ground. It's going to explode before it even hits the ground. It's going to vaporize. Oh, speaking of that, fun fact. So when there's like craters on the Earth, they look for boulders or like they look for leftover remains of the meteor. There's never leftover remains of the meteor. You want to know why?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Science lessons for you guys. So E equals mc squared. Or if you just do the kinetic energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. So if you take something that's massive like a meteor, let's say the size of, I don't know, a very massive meteor, and it's coming in, it's massive. It's coming in 30,000 something miles an hour. Well, that means that if you take the mass times the velocity squared, 1/2, of course, it's going to have massive energy. Well, that meteor, let's say it's made out of iron, it's very, very heavy element, has binding energy. That's how much energy it takes to hold all the iron in that rock together. Eventually, when it gets close to the ground, it's going 30,000 miles an hour. When it hits the ground, it goes from 30,000 to 0, like that. That change in energy is your energy that's going to be released. That change of energy release will be greater than the binding energy of that meteor. So it will evaporate because it can no longer hold itself together. That's why there's no remains left over after a giant meteor. Now, if they're small enough, they'll hit. Well, a lot of them don't actually impact the ground.
Okay, that's what I was going to say, because I could have sworn that we have meteorite.
Yeah, I'm talking about like ones that evaporate on impact.
Gotcha.
They got to be at a certain mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evaporation. Evaporation.
But yeah, just back to like humans with powers. It's always crazy to think like everything's made out of atoms, and they made an atom bomb by splitting it.
Right.
So that massive explosion, there is that much energy in us times however many.
Yeah. It's the problem is the energy it takes to split in that. Like we're talking about splitting the nucleus of an atom.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the strong nuclear force is the force in between that holds the nucleus together. You talk about the amount of energy it takes to split an atom is immense.
Yeah.
You've ever seen a atom bomb go off? That's the amount of energy it takes to split an atom, which is ridiculous.
But it's just crazy to think that amount of energy is within us.
If I could split every atom in your body, it would probably, this planet's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Just imagine if you're able to control that.
Oh yeah. what are we talking about? Like, you can do anything you want.
Oh my goodness.
You could rule the universe. You can destroy planets and stars. My God. I'd love to see us take every nuke we have. Let's say a black hole's close enough to send something out there at a decent time. Let's say in a couple of years. I'd love to see us detonate every single one of our nukes by a black hole and see what happens.
By it or in it?
By it. Well, once we put the nukes in there, there's no coming back. We can't get a signal to it to detonate it. But once it gets close, I know it's gonna happen, but I just love to see it, like a video, because they'll explode. It's gonna suck all in. That'd be cool to see.
That would be sick.
Have you seen atom bomb's cool? There's one bigger, hydrogen bomb. You seen a hydrogen bomb?
I don't think so. I definitely heard of it. I don't know if
when you get a chance, look up a hydrogen bomb explosion. Makes the atom bomb look like nothing. Dude, oh my God.
Where do they even test these?
They in Nevada, in the middle of nowhere. That's where they're testing the atom bomb, I think.
I always feel like that these bombs like blow off half the country. Not that big, but like, you know what I mean? Like a massive.
Oh, dude.
blast radius where like if you're halfway across the country, like you feel the shakes of it or something.
Bro,
I obviously don't know the exact blast radius, but I always think that like if they did it in the middle of nowhere, that the states around it would.
All right, let me show you this video, dude.
Take a little hit.
Cause a heart, no, that's
definitely see it at least.
Are these there's a slight difference between a hydrogen bomb and an atom bomb, I believe. Jesus. Most powerful nuclear explosion by Russia. Oh god.
I didn't want to last night I keep having these bad dreams that we get bombed.
Well, I know whatever country has the balls to bomb us, it's over.
For everyone.
Well, basically, but well, basically. I can't find the video, but oh my god. Holy shit, dude. The United States tested the first hydrogen bomb in 1952. These are the explosions. I can't show you guys. These are the explosions of the bombs compared. So those are the bombs we dropped in Japan. That's the radius.
Like Hiroshima?
Yeah, that's those. These are hydrogen bombs. Look at that. That's the Soviet Union hydrogen bomb. This is the blast radius compared to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Look at that.
Like wipe out the entire.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
So like that one that you just showed me is like half our country.
Basically, East Coast at least. It'd be catastrophic. I think someone said that if every single nuclear warhead went off at once, I'm pretty sure it would destroy our entire planet, or at least wipe out like half of life.
So why don't we just use this nuclear energy that you're talking about and use it for good instead of weapons?
Well, you know how people get. You gotta have some type of, I don't know. That's not the question for me. When you have a government, to start with the Cold War, people start talking shit, and you want to make sure you can defend yourself when people talking shit got weapons of mass destruction. Well, shit, we need to get some weapons of mass destruction, because the last thing you want to happen is somebody drop a bomb on you and you can't do shit.
Or why don't we just understand that we're on a floating rock in the middle of nowhere and just try to enjoy this while we have it, you know?
You want to know why? Because the people in power aren't scientists. The people in power, a lot of the politics have no scientific literacy whatsoever.
Nope.
That's part of the problem.
You're just looking for that money.
That is part of the problem. And I don't know how to fix it, but yeah, it's part of the dilemma, because
you ever think of life as like people are running it like the game of life or the Sims?
What do you mean?
As in like there's people that are running it like it's a game of Sims?
What do you mean people that are running it?
Like there's people up running the shit behind the curtain.
What curtain? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay, so instead of like the presidents being the people that are ruling everything, the people that are behind the presidents that are not on the forefront of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Moving everything
that's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the president has much power as we think he does.
No, he has, yeah.
No, they're like, oh, yeah, I know for a fact that that's how it goes. Because the people that are really running this shit are people with money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily. It is all, I think about it, like, I never played Sims. I might have played a little bit growing up, but it's thing like you're that one overseeing person controlling everything, and they do one thing to spark one thing up, it just change reaction to everything. It's like people just fall into it.
I'm pretty sure, because I was telling somebody, like, I think imagine if Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Warren Buffett got together and formed this group. Let's just call it the bandits.
The bandits.
Bro, those 4 people, they do whatever they wanted.
Literally.
They could literally, talking about billionaires, they can do whatever they want. They could, whatever.
I know, it's
They,
you know, funny
they did or run America already.
You know, funny side, Elon Musk doesn't have a house.
What do you mean?
You
tell me he's homeless?
He's sleeping on his friend's couches.
For what?
Because all of his money's going to his projects.
No, dude.
Look it up. He was on a bunch of interviews.
Get out of here, bro. I feel like he's full of shit sometimes.
Well, that's what, whenever he started up Tesla, he sold, what was it, PayPal or whatever?
Mm.
And all of the money he got from that, and I think one other project he put towards Tesla, and he had to borrow money for rent. And I don't think,
bro, he has a house in Los Angeles worth $4.5 million.
Well, I don't know what he was talking about then. He was saying he didn't have a house, and this was him in an interview saying that.
I feel like he saying he didn't live in, well,
or maybe he was talking about back then. I don't know, but he definitely said it. I don't know where the video is at, but I saw it somewhere.
Oh, he just sold it. One of his mansions.
Maybe that's what he's talking about. He just sold it. And now he's.
Well, this is 2020. Bro, there's no way this dude's worth almost $300 billion and is sleeping on people's couch. Now, there's something wrong if he is.
No, not at all.
It's but dude,
how
he's going about it.
Yeah. Like mad respect. That dude's got all of his focus on his work.
Well, this is 2019. I mean, shit, he might be. All these things are saying that he sold his house.
Yeah.
June 2021, tweeted owning an event house in the Bay Area, but in December 2021, it was reported Musk was actually living in an Austin mansion owned by Ken Hayrie, according to Wall Street Journal.
Yes, obviously he's not sleeping in an apartment couch. He's sleeping in his friend's mansions.
Says Elon Musk says he lives in a $50,000 house. I don't know. I say, shit, he can do what he wants, but if I ever come across that money, I'm gonna have my own spot.
Oh yeah, what?
Maybe a few of them.
Definitely. You see, there was like a tweet that went out saying that Elon Musk could fix world hunger with, I think they said like 5% of his.
Oh no, dude!
And he said, he tweeted back saying, if you guys come up with a plan,
he'll do it. Yeah, I saw that.
That's how you go about it.
Because somebody threw shade at him. That's how it started. They were like, because it's somebody tweeted out like his new, because Tesla went up or some shit and whatever. Somebody was like, Elon Musk could easily end world hunger with however much money still have like this billions left over. And I remember seeing it. I followed him and he said, show me a plan of how we actually go about this, whatever, and I'll do it. I was like, that's the most boss shit ever.
He's like, yeah, I can figure it out. Because he knows, like, you can throw money at anyone. There's always going to be problems.
Yeah, and I saw, so the person that he said that to, I don't think anybody actually gave him a plan, but I saw he did end up donating, like, hella money to some cause that's supposed to help with world hunger. He still donated a ton of money for it, even though nobody actually gave him because it's easy to say in world hunger. It's easy to say that. All right, how? You say it takes $10 billion to end world hunger. Exactly. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Because
it's not just throwing money at people.
Right. You gotta have like infrastructure to because that means honestly the only people that are, well, let's just say in America, let's just keep it as simple because it gets more complex when you talk about the world. But to end hunger in America, you have to first end homelessness. Because most of the people that are
falling with homelessness.
Right. Most people that are hungry, not all, but most people that are hungry, they're homeless. They have no really. So you have to fix the homeless problem first. And then from there, it's tough. Because then, all right, you feed them once or you feed them twice. So you have this system to feed them. Now they become dependent on that. So they have no need to get a job. They have no need to become productive members of society because they got ways of getting food, even though they're homeless or living on the street. So you're not really fixing anything. You're just, well, you are fixing hunger, but now you're not fixing the problem of why they're hungry. Because a lot of them, homeless people, I think 70% of homeless people are homeless because they spend all the money on drugs. Well, if you're feeding them, now you're enabling them. Oh, I don't have to scavenge money for food. I can just scavenge all my money for drugs because I can get food. So you'll fix one problem and solve another, but legit. And then you talk about the world, it gets way more complicated. But that's why I like Bill Gates. I was watching, I don't think it was a documentary. It was something on him where he reads a shit ton. And he was saying, it was an interview, and he was saying that he was reading a book on third world countries. And he was reading how there's these countries in Africa or villages in Africa, they don't have clean running water. And he was like saying, like, you know, he was sitting in his little like getaway vacation place where he goes to read, saying how it's basic human needs is water, clean drinking water, running water. So he was like, all right, I want to find a way to fix this. So he held this little convention where he said he sent out this newsletter where he wanted people to enter this contest to try to solve this problem of needing irrigation and not only drinkable water, but, you know, to get rid of waste. Because people are really, some countries, they shit in holes in their house. It's just a dirt hole. And so he found this one person so end up fast forward, he built this like machine, self-sustaining, it's solar powered. So once they built it, it was self-sustaining, but you would literally take buckets of shit, put it in one end, clean, not only does clean drinking water come out the other end, but the way it uses that waste, it created energy for that village.
So they got
buckets of shit,
human feces,
shit and piss. They put it in one end, right?
Turn it into water.
Turn in clean drinking water and electrical energy. It was a video. I gotta find it. But it had to have been a documentary because I remember sitting and watching it. But I remember, and not only that, but he put up all these. So he did that, and I remember it was funny. It was the first. So they put shit in. It was the first time they were using it, and so he got the water. He looked at it. It looks clear, and he was the first person to drink it. He was like, "It's clean drinking water." And so not only did he do that for that village, but he put up these because it was like a huge contraction. And so in a bunch of different countries, he was putting up in these villages smaller, like they look like porta potties, but it's the same thing. You go in and you shit in it, and it produced clean drinking water and electricity for the village. I was like, oh, this is the guy we need running shit, because he's out actually, you know, he was reading the problem. He's like, oh yeah.
So does this machine then doing everything? Does it like produce shit fumes?
I'm pretty sure it produces steam.
So is it like just massive clouds of fart just floating around, or is this like filtered?
No, I'm pretty sure it's filtered. I don't even know how to Google this. Bill Gates. We put shit machine. See what comes up.
Bill Gates.
Oh, here's the video.
No.
Turns feces into drinking water. This is the video, and that's him drinking it. Yeah, this is it.
That's insane.
Oh shit. See if I can just skip straight to it. Sorry for people watching. I can't show this. This is how big it is. It's like a huge thingy.
Electricity and ash.
That's the
sludge enters the machine.
The sludge.
The conveyor belt is fed into these large tubes we call the drive.
They heat it.
Boil the sludge, and in the boiling process, we separate
the water from the ash
from the solids. The solids are now dry, and we can feed them into the fire. Once we have this very hot fire, we can make high pressure, high temperature steam, and we take that steam and we send it to a
condense it down in the water.
The steam engine drives a generator that makes electricity that we use for the processor, and also excess electricity that can be delivered back to the community. The water vapor that's created in the boiling process is run through a cleaning system until we have the cleanest, purest water you can possibly imagine.
Dude.
The sanitation system, as we know it,
and then it gave jobs to the people in the village.
That's crazy.
So I want to go to where he's drinking it.
It's a very simple system.
The entrepreneur that owns this processor will get paid for the input, the sludge, And that same entrepreneur
Oh, I
will
just
get paid
found
for the
that video
outputs,
about the water.
the electricity, the water, and the cash.
I am very impressed.
Oh, here's his.
Solution we're seeing
Oh, he's
here
about to drink
generates
it.
electricity, it generates clean water.
It will grow to every corner of the earth that needs it because it makes money every day.
We said in 5 minutes, it makes the water, right? We drunk it. Dude, is that not the coolest shit ever?
That's crazy.
My hand is raised. When I raise my hand?
I think when you physically raise your hand,
No way.
I thought I saw something like that.
Oh.
I might be.
But isn't that the coolest shit? He's building those in like all these villages that need them, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Shit.
Speaking of other countries, I just saw a video. I didn't look into it at all, but apparently Uganda just found a massive supply of gold, like
In the ground or in the mountain?
in their, I don't know if it was a mountain or the ground, but the guy said it was like 300 million tons of gold, like something. It's like they became like the most wealthiest country
Like overnight.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So he's like,
Jeez.
I gotta find that video and send it to you. But like, obviously, he was talking about the purpose of it was for one to bring awareness to it, and then also like saying what's probably gonna happen next, because obviously everyone's going to want to get a piece of that.
Yeah.
So there's probably gonna be some
A war.
Yeah.
Then it could be a war.
Yeah, pretty much. So I gotta find that though, and I'm gonna look into
They're
it and
about-
see how accurate it is.
They're like Wakanda now. They
Pretty
got a
much.
giant mound of vibranium.
Whenever he said it, he said Uganda, because it's Uganda, and I was like, what? No shit. That I'm like, oh wait, it's Wakanda. That's different.
damn year.
Yeah.
Shit,
Uganda,
gold.
Wakanda.
I saw a pitch on Shark Tank. This dude was saying so apparently there's on beaches, that's a small fraction of that sand has gold in it. And he was saying he built this machine that could actually, was it out of the water or out of the sand? I think it was out of the water, because there's like gold deposits from the sand that gets filtered into the water. And he was saying he could build these machines to literally just go through the ocean and it would get gold deposits, and you could just farm gold out of the ocean.
You know, I'm not actually surprised, because like the beaches down in San Diego, it looks like there's little gold flakes that are just
Yeah, probably.
floating
Yeah.
around. It's a lot of them too, and it's probably just some sort of, I don't know if that's specifically gold by any means, but like it looks like
Probably.
sparkly gold. Just
He didn't get a deal
you
though.
know.
One, it was too scientifically advanced for the sharks to understand. That was one problem. Two, he's a scientist, so the pitch wasn't very good. And three, the amount of gold, like the rate of return it would take a while, because it's not like you're just getting mounds and mounds of gold. Like the gold, it's not a lot. It would take like time and time and time and time of farming for it. But I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That reminds me of I'm surprised a lot of the what have you seen? Do you see like those little? Do you have machines that sit there and bobble in water on the coast at all? Those kinetic machines.
Oh, that it's like to get energy from
Yeah, from the wave, literally just from it moving on the waves, it creates kinetic energy.
I don't think we have any like close to shore. There might be some like farther out maybe, but I don't think I've seen any.
I'm surprised.
I would not be surprised if we have some somewhere.
I'm surprised it's not like a bigger thing, because it's besides solar, wind, it's literally the closest thing to free energy. You just set it in it as it bobs, it literally just creates
It's
electrical
just like
energy.
a little, basically a
Yeah.
pump.
Now I'm sure there's probably some ecosystem interference that probably maybe, I don't know, but
But like if you're able to like, which if you do put anything in the ocean, it's gonna have some sort of interference with the natural flow of ocean life. But if you're able to like either have it all in like a designated area, or like if you like relocate whatever was right there into a different spot and like effectively replant it, like so you're not just like tearing out coral or whatever and just killing it, like figuring out a way to replant it and have it still growing, because right now, I know the coral reefs have been dying off very rapidly over the years, and that's a huge issue.
Is it from fishing? The industrial fishing?
I think there's a lot that goes into it, but I think I would not be surprised if fishing would have a big effect on it. I watched some documentary on it a few years back, and it was saying like it was having a huge effect on the life there, because obviously once the coral reef dies, all the fish that were living there go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I believe messes up the system.
Did you ever watch the documentary on Netflix about the fishing industry? I gotta figure out the name of it.
No.
Dude, it makes you not want to eat fish ever again.
Yeah.
Fishing documentary. What's the name? Yes, Seaspiracy. Dude, you gotta watch it, bro. They go.
See the
I don't know if it's still on there, but basically
I didn't actually watch it, but I remember it being on there. Or it's the Netflix original, so it's probably on there.
Yeah, dude. So they go into this, this conspiracy about the fishing industry and how it's like terrible. Bro, they go in. So like people document, they end up in this spot where like they're basically out in the gutter, like in there, to the point where there's no recording allowed. So they're like sneaking, and they're with this foreign country, and the police were like tailing them. They were like onto them.
Was it raise my hand?
No. I said some. I hope it didn't say something about my space. Or it might be a time limit because there's only one person here. I don't know. Anyway, but and so the police were like tailing them because they didn't want them to expose their fishing industry. But dude, it's terrible. Like there's slavery involved with fishing, and they're talking about how the industrial fishing is the number one polluter of the ocean because all these nets and plastic, yada. And it's actually destroying ecosystems. So they're showing a diagram of how industrial fishing works. They have these giant boats. They have these huge nets, and the boat goes and it just captures everything. These nets are dragging on the ground. Yeah. And it's destroying all the ecosystems that's on the ground. And there's like so many sharks and whales get killed, or seals get killed in the cross because they'll get caught in the nets. And then when they bring them on board, they just kill them and yada. Dude. Yeah. They're talking about fish oil and like how corrupt the fish oil industry is, and like how many fish that they destroy and kill for fish oil and stuff. And they're saying, don't buy fish oil anymore. You got to buy like, it's basically like, it's basically the same omega fatty acids, but instead of fish oil, it's from like algae or some shit, or like kale, something weird, but it's the same shit. They're like, buy that, and then that's shit I might. And it's way more expensive as you would have. I was like, well, shit. I was like, dude, what is this thing? Oh, okay. I was making sure it wasn't saying it was getting ready to kick us.
But no, yeah, that's what you can watch just about any documentary and feel like a complete asshole about whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't watch any like meat documentaries, because I'm not gonna stop eating meat. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm sorry.
One documentary that I definitely would suggest like everyone to watch, like it sucks, but like it's good to know.
The cow shit?
No, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's called like Black Fin or something like that. Basically, it's about the killer whales at SeaWorld.
Oh, like miserable?
Yes. So like basically it's about how they've been so horribly treated, and that's why there's been so many deaths at SeaWorld, because they're just depressed, and the major sign that they're depressed is that their fin is slouched over like that.
Really?
And every single time I've gone to SeaWorld, I've seen that growing up. I haven't been since the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, yeah. And every time I saw that, I always thought that was weird. And then I watched a documentary and it explained that like it's an obvious telltale sign if their fins over like that, they're depressed. And like it just shows like an aerial view of this massive whale in this small pool, and they just grow up in it. I'm just like, how could you? But yeah, basically it's a documentary that I feel like everyone should watch, because obviously SeaWorld is still up and running. We
Popular.
have one down in San Diego, yeah. And so like, and then you guys can make a decision from there. But I think it's good just to know. And then, because like I feel like SeaWorld would be great if it was just like a water park, kind of, and then like a sea theme, where like the rides were like based off sea creatures,
right?
Or maybe having like aquariums with like really tiny fish or like little octopus or something. Maybe even that might be pushed to a certain extent, but these massive killer whales, like they're literally are they the smartest?
Yeah, they're the same family.
They're the smartest mammals that live in the ocean. That is a big statement, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate.
No, they are.
But basically, their hunting styles is insane.
Yeah, I mean, they're killers. You got the killer animal's natural instinct to kill is in a tank.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't be a group. That's why I don't support or go to any zoos, aquariums, none of that, unless they're like
it's like a wildlife preserve.
Preserve or for like rescues.
Yeah.
If they're rescues and they can't go back into their natural. Okay, I get that. They need someplace to go stay, but outside of that, I'm not a big zoo guy because
that's the San Diego Zoo is supposed to be the best in the world, United States. That one, the New York Zoo is. I know that the San Diego Zoo has a wildlife, not preserve. I'm saying that wrong. Wildlife, where you like drive through it.
I know something.
Yeah, it was one of those. I don't know if that's the entire zoo itself or if it's just a part of it, but I definitely want to go check that out at some point. But yeah, it was really after college. I was kind of like, it's kind of messed up that they have these.
Yeah, hell of messed up. I mean, bro, I went to. Yeah, did you ever go to the zoo and see like those tigers? They look terrible.
Yeah,
tiger or lions, and they look. The St. Louis Zoo has a polar bear, right? Or was that Kansas City Zoo?
Last time I went to St. Louis Zoo, all the animals were up, and it was a free zoo experience.
Well, I think it's Kansas City Zoo has a polar bear. There's a polar bear. Kansas City.
There's elephants in St. Louis.
Yeah, they look sad. I don't see any of them that have a good time. And then you see those videos on like Instagram or TikTok where a kid's standing in the glass, but they're like turned away from it, and you see the tiger like, bro, that's their natural instinct.
Yeah.
The buffets are just walking by, and they gotta
glass
sit there and eat whatever bullshit that they're. Yeah, it's just terrible. But y'all stay tuned for my book. It's not coming out when I said it was gonna come out, but we're working on it. I was actually done with it, but my dumbass decided to add another chapter. So I'm not done with it. It's a chapter on time management. You guys check that out. But I need to find somebody. You know anybody that's good at English? Because I need to find an editor.
Oh, okay. Not that I can think of right now, but
yeah, I might just send it to my mom. She had
Doesn't she have a actually, Lydia's mom, I don't know if she does that now, but I know she got a degree in like English or whatever. So my
mom does too. I might send it to her, but I'm gonna finish everything and then send it out to somebody to edit it. And then I'm gonna drop it. And then another book I'm writing that's on the supplements. Remember that I was writing about that book forever ago. I might have told you about it literally like 3 or 4 years ago. But it's my top 5 supplements. I talk why I take them, how I take them, and I get not super in depth in the science, but I kind of go into science of how they work. But it's not. I don't go too crazy on the science, but like I do references to papers and stuff, so it has like some decent credibility.
That's fine.
Yeah, guys. So you guys can get ripped.
Ready.
Because bro, I was so offended. I'm at Shoe Palace, and this chick was trying to buy a shirt for her husband or significant other, whoever. And she was like, "You think if somebody wears first of all, I hate when they come to me asking, like, you think a guy could fit this?" I'm like, what does he look like? You know, like they're not there. I got to see how they're built. So she was like, you think a guy that normally wears so she was looking for a small, but she couldn't find a small. We didn't have a small, so she was gonna get a medium. And she was like, do you think a guy that normally wears small could fit in this medium? And I was like, I don't know. How is he built? And I was like, it is 100% cotton, so it might shrink a little bit. And she was like, I was like, is he skinny? She was like, yeah, he's kind of built like you. I was like, bitch, I am not skinny. And then she's talking about a small. I was like, so what size do you wear? I was like, I wear a large. She's like, oh. I was like, yeah. Your boy's large. I'm large. I remember freshman year used to wear mediums and shit, dude. Yeah. I graduated. I think by the time I get 215, you think I'll be XL?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Probably. But I like them fit a little, you know, I like it fit a little tight. I like when this, like my arm fills it out. I don't like when it's.
Well, how much you weigh now?
200. So another 15 pounds. It's probably gonna be muscle. I'm gaining most of my legs, my ass though, not mine.
That's what, yeah. If it goes mostly to your legs, then probably not. But if you like put 15 pounds of muscle on your upper body,
I'm trying to be proportional.
Then yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could probably stay large, but jeans are getting dicey for me. I can tell you that.
Oh, I gotta send you, because I got some jeans that were like meant for athletes, like they're stretchy.
Stretchy?
Yeah.
But they're still tight. I don't like, if I'm wearing jeans and my phone pocket is like this, like sticking out hard, it's a little too tight for me.
So I do also have like, you could also go like the jean jogger route, which some of those are stretchier. I have a pair that's stretchy and like loose and comfy shit.
Are they $19.99?
They were like 30, 40.
See, these jeans, $19.99 at H&M. Can't be beat.
Yeah, you can beat that.
And then what I do sometimes the H&M jeans, if they're too tight, I'll just cut them up and they, you know, they're loose. Yeah, I'll distress them myself.
There you go.
But then they're a little looser. If I cut like right around here or by the thigh, these fit pretty well, but you know, getting a little tight on your boy.
Okay. You know, I heard you're not supposed to wash jeans. I wash mine.
I heard you're not supposed to dry them.
Is that it?
Yeah, you're not supposed to dry them.
Supposed to clean something about it. And I was like, what?
But you remember Bailey Barnes, right?
Yeah.
She was telling me, oh, you're not supposed to dry your jeans. Yeah. I was like, what? So yeah, well, she was shitting on me because I was talking about my jeans are great and they're H&M, they're $19.99, whatever. And so she was shitting on me because I wear cheap jeans. She said, well, her jeans are like expensive, like $80, $90 or whatever, but she can't dry them. Because I was like, I don't want to spend $80 on jeans. And if I spend $80 on jeans, I better be able to wash them, dry them, and they better fold themselves. Because I've had these jeans I'm wearing now. I bought these 3 years ago. Fit fantastic. They're worn in, so they're a little loose. Wash, dry them every single time. No problems, no tear on them. Yeah. We're good.
If I can't do that, if I can just throw them on the wash and dryer, like I have to think about
how
to do with them. Yeah.
You gotta separate your clothes.
Yeah. There was one time I got like a wool sweater once.
Oh no.
I forgot it was wool. You know? Threw it in the dryer. That thing was like
tiny.
Try me size.
Yeah, wool and heat's not a good combination, but
I don't remember what it was. There was something you can do to put it back to size. I forget what it was.
I don't know. All right.
It was like put in water and something else.
Vinegar?
Something else
No, not vinegar. Is it cold water? I remember seeing that too.
Yeah, it was something you put it back size, but that's still a lot of work.
How to reverse shrink. But how to reverse shrinkage? Hopefully it's the right shrinkage I'm talking about. Use lukewarm water, gentle shampoo or soap. Soak for 30 minutes. But probably loosen up the fabric. Yeah. Shit, I'm getting kind of hungry. Your boy gotta eat. Is there anything close?
Yeah, there's a few stuff around here. There's close to actually open is another thing.
Yeah, I gotta eat. I done got the munchies. Oh, California way.
California love. BJ's Restaurant and Brew House.
The whole restaurant's open.
800 feet.
My damn Apple Watch is on
Tacos El Pollo.
19%.
Melt down. They got Denny's.
They ain't got no Whataburgers out here. Y'all lame.
Texas. We got In-N-Out out here.
Gay.
Yeah, I can't say I like In-N-Out for what it is, but Shake Shack's definitely.
I'm not impressed with Shake Shack.
What?
It's not bad, but I'm not impressed. Burger's too small for me, fam.
You get two of them.
Still too small.
Bruh, there's smokehouse one with the bacon and them cherry peppers.
I don't need all that.
And then the bacon cheese fries. Bro, their cheese on top is elite.
Bro, I don't need all that.
Then put the bacon aside, just the cheese itself.
I don't want cheese on my fries. I want regular fries.
Even still, their crinkle fries are on point.
I want regular fries, Grant.
Wait.
Not crinkle.
Oh, you want regular?
No, you're talking about crinkle or curly.
Crinkle. What?
Never mind. I like crinkle fries.
No, yeah.
I thought curly fries when you said that.
No.
But again, their burgers, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not bad. They're good. I'm not impressed. I'd rather have Whataburger.
You know, I had a Whataburger and I loved the size of it, but I don't know if I just got like a basic thing.
The basic's the best. Wait, was it a Texas Whataburger?
I don't know. It was in Texas. We were in Texas, yes.
Because I was gonna say any Whataburger outside of Texas, it's not the same.
Yeah, which I'm usually one of the guys that gets like some fun shit on my burger.
When it comes to food, I'm the opposite of fun. I like basic, bland shit.
See, I can't do that. I need a little something.
Just give me a burger with cheese. I would take tomatoes, lettuce, pickle. I don't care. Put it on there. Done whatever. Mustard, ketchup. I'm good. Give me fries.
I want the house special. I want that interest. I want that shit that's not on the menu.
They get that guacamole burger from Whataburger.
Guacamole burger. Sounds good.
It sounds disgusting. All right, dude. We'll do some food, fam.
Sure.
All right. Well, y'all heard it here. The Uncle Strib bonus episode. Spur of the moment. Chidori. We'll catch you guys next time.
I'm gonna chase my dreams.